we will take some concepts today, like what is a sliding contact. Then we will derive the requirement for a rolling contact. So we have seen in the direct contact mechanism, if you take two rigid bodies are in contact, the contact is taking place at the point P2 and P4. This is link 2, this is link 4, and one of this is rotating with omega 2, other is rotating at omega 4. Now if you draw the velocity of point P2, that will be perpendicular to the line connecting O to P2, and this is the velocity. So this is the velocity of P2, and if you want to find out the velocity of P4, that is perpendicular to the line connecting P4 and O4, so that will be perpendicular like this. So this is, say, velocity of P4. One of the conditions that connects velocity of P2 and P4 is that its magnitude along the line which is called common normal. So you can draw a line which is normal to both the curved surfaces. This is the common normal, which is also called axis of transmission. The velocity component along the axis of transmission should be same. Otherwise, they will either separate or they will crush with each other. So the condition connecting P2 and P4, velocity of P2 and P4, is that this component of velocity of P2 projected along the common normal and the component of P4 projected along this common normal should be same. So this must be the same. So this is the component along the axis of transmission. So that is the condition for transmitting forces or motion from one linkage to the other linkage, which they are in direct contact. But now that we have discussed last class and derived the equation for omega 4 by omega 2. But today we look at the other axis, that is the perpendicular axis, the axis which is perpendicular to the axis of transmission. So you can think of a common tangent. This common tangent is called axis of slip. So this velocity of P2 and P4 has components like this. So I can say this is velocity of P4 tangential component. This one is the velocity of P2 tangential component. So now our focus is on the two components which are along the axis of slip, otherwise it is a common tangent. So if there is a relative velocity, so we are having to look at these two velocities only, here and the other velocity like this. Look at these two velocities only. These two velocities says that these two rigid bodies are they have a relative motion. Okay? Along the axis of transmission, there cannot be any relative motion. But if there is any velocity between the two, if there is a relative motion between the two rigid bodies, then that kind of a contact is called sliding contact. Okay? So when the two rigid bodies are in engagement, there is a relative motion between the two. That relative motion can occur only along the line of common tangent. That if that kind of joints which has a relative motion along the common tangent is called sliding contact. So what is the relative velocity? So we can write that velocity of P2 tangential component is equal to velocity of P4 tangential component plus velocity of P2 tangential component with respect to velocity of P4 tangential. This is the equation, relative velocity equation. What we are interested is, what is the relative velocity between the two? That is velocity of P2 tangential component with respect to velocity of P2 tangential component with respect to P4 tangential component. So this is given by velocity of P2 tangential component minus velocity of P4 tangential component. This will give me the relative velocity. So if I draw the vector diagram, velocity of P2 tangential component is this, that is downward. This is velocity of P2 tangential component. Then I have to subtract velocity of P4 tangential component from that. P4 tangential component is like this. But if I want to subtract it, I have to move in the opposite direction, right? So this is my velocity of P4 tangential component. So I have two vectors like this, but for this, moving from tail to head is a positive, then from head to tail is negative. So this vector sum from here to here in this direction will be velocity of P2 with respect to P4 tangential component. So this is the magnitude of the relative velocity between the two, which is your sliding velocity. You have any doubts? So the sliding contact, what are the problems if you have a sliding contact? Whether it is advantageous to have a sliding contact or not. But let me tell you what is the problem with a sliding contact is there is a relative motion between the two rigid bodies, means that if there is a friction force associated with it, the force and the displacement component together require some work to be done. If it is a simple displacement with a zero force, no problem. That is, these two sliding contact takes place with a zero friction, no problem. But it is not realistic to have two objects to have a zero coefficient of friction. What is the lowest coefficient of friction you can think of between the two pairs? So you know there is coefficient of friction, materials are there, steel, wood like that, brass, wood, or ice on ice like that. Which material combination has the lowest coefficient of friction? Yeah? Between? I didn't get that.
Bones.
Between?
Bones.
Holes.
Bones.
Bones, okay. That is synovial joint. That is not man-made, but which makes a man. Okay? So 0.01 is the synovial joint. But what about the Teflon and Teflon, which has the lowest coefficient of friction? That is 0.1. So if there is a friction involved and there is a relative motion and friction, if they happen to be in the same direction, then there will be a loss of, you have to do the work, means there will be a loss of energy in transmission. When you want to transmit force from one to the other linkage, by direct means, if there is a sliding contact, the sliding contact will dissipate energy. So the transmission will not take place here without losses. There will be losses. So that is not welcome, because these losses also will bring in what form this energy will be lost finally? You know the statement that graveyard for kinetic energy is heat. So if there is any kinetic energy loss, you can always account in the final form as heat. So that is why it is said as graveyard for kinetic energy is heat. So this will turn into heat. If you don't dissipate it, it will heat up too much and giving to more problems. So indirect contact mechanisms, whenever there is a sliding contact, the issue of loss of energy is coming. So that we should try to avoid. Okay? But there is another contact I have written here, that is called rolling contact. By definition, rolling contact is the one where there is no relative motion between the two rigid bodies. What is the rolling contact? You know that in our curriculum we don't discuss about the rolling friction at all. In the first year, in the introduction, we give some introduction about what is the rolling friction. So rolling friction is the friction between the wheel and the road. If the contact is rolling contact, the friction what you will have is the rolling friction. Suppose you are able to reduce by some means of new innovative methods, reduce the friction by say 20%, you may supersede Bill Gates in terms of wealth. Because if you reduce the lowering friction, you are going to immediately improve the efficiency of all automotives. So you know how many automotives are there in the world, you can become. Okay? So, but it is not that easy. That's why you are not able to supersede the Bill Gates for quite some time. I think he is for more than 15 years, he is the number one in the world. and his wealth is increasing because of the stock market boom. He may, in another 6 or 7 years, he may become a trillionaire, from billionaire to trillionaire. Okay. Now, coming to this, the second topic is the rolling contact. What is the condition at which two rigid bodies, when they are engaged in motion, will be a rolling contact? That is, sliding velocity is zero, or relative motion is not there. And the answer to that is relative motion, if it needs to be zero, then you have two axes. This is the axis of transmission, this is the axis of slip. Say one of the driving thing will have a velocity like this. This is, say, velocity of 0.2. And this has two components. One is along the axis of transmission and another is along the axis of slip. Right? That's what we have seen. If the relative velocity along this axis is zero, that is, there is no relative motion, then it becomes a rolling contact. So for that, what should be the velocity of P4, that is the other velocity. Velocity of P4 can be like this. So this is one option. When velocity of P4 is like this, what you are getting here is velocity of P2 tangential is equal to velocity of P4 tangential. Therefore, your relative velocity of P2 tangential with respect to P4 tangential, the relative term becomes zero. Then your contact will become a rolling contact. But this is not viable. This particular thing is not viable. It's because you see that for a direct contact mechanism, the normal component should be same. But in this case, the normal component is not the same. They are in the opposite direction. So no transmission will take place. Our this thing is not to give the zero contact sliding. That means they don't touch, you have zero sliding velocity. That is not the point. It should touch, transmit the force or power, at the same time sliding should not take place. So this option is not correct or viable because this component is supposed to be same. That is, it should be flipped. So what is the option possible? The possible option is that the velocity of P2 should be the same as velocity of P4. When that is possible is, you look at it, you have O2 as a center of rotation, you have O4 as a center of rotation, you have line of centers, and you have a point of contact where the contact takes place. So suppose I take two rigid bodies like this. Say this is my point of contact. Obviously, as long as this point of contact is like this, you will have these two velocities in different directions. They cannot be same. The direction itself will not be same. So the direction of these two will be same only if the point of contact is lying on the line of centers. Only if the point of contact is on the line of centers, like this. So you have something like this. if the point of contact lies in the line of centers, then if you take their velocities will be in the same direction, and if the magnitude is also same, then if you see that the perpendicular component along the sliding component will be 0. So we can from this arrive at a statement or condition for rolling contact. The two direct contact mechanism will have a rolling contact only if their point of contact lies on the line of centers. Okay? So even in gears, if you look at it, the point of contact will be keep on moving along the axis of transmission. At one point where it crosses the line of centers, that point will be where you will have a pure rolling. Otherwise there will be a sliding. Okay?